Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa and today I'm going to be showing you how to remove your Furby's eye chips and install your own. So here's an example of one that I did previously. And I'm going to briefly touch over how you can create your own Furby eye chips as well. So I got these Furby eye chip blanks off of Etsy and they were listed as Blythe doll eye chips, but they are the same. They're 14 millimeters and I've used them previously and they fit pretty snug in there to where I don't even really need to use any Mod Podge to seal them in. I started by just tracing the Furby eye chip with a pencil. I'm not going to actually be creating any eye chips during this tutorial, but I'm just going to show you quickly how I would make them. And so once I'm done tracing them out, then I would take my acrylic paint and just do whatever design I want inside of there. You can also add some glitter like you can see in the ones that I have below. I just used some Elmer's glue over some black acrylic paint, and then I added some silver glitter on there. After you finish designing them and painting them the way you want, you'd take some Mod Podge and then just add it over top of your design. And then take the eye chip and just press it down over top and let it dry. When you add things like glitter, it adds a little bit more dimension there. It's kind of hard to see in my video, but there's a lot more depth that is created with that glitter because the glitter is slightly raised up from the black acrylic paint down below. I'm going to be using these Mermaid scale eye chips that I bought off of Etsy for this tutorial because this Furby is going to be mermaid themed. I've been working on this Furby for a few days now, and I just recently finished dyeing the fur, as you can see here. And the reason why I haven't finished painting the eyelids or the eyelashes yet is because I don't want to accidentally ruin them when I'm trying to remove these old eye chips. Now to remove these old eye chips, I'm going to be using the glue stick method. So that requires me to light a match, and then I'm going to take my glue stick and I'm going to melt one end of it, and then I'm going to stick it into the old eye chip. Be extremely careful when you do this and make sure you have a safe place to put down your match after you've blown it out. So now that I've pressed my glue stick down onto the eye chip, I'm just going to leave it there until it's nice and firm on there. Sometimes I'll blow on it to kind of speed up the process. Once the glue is completely dry and it doesn't really move, you can move on to the next one. You may also notice that these glue sticks are small. It's because I reuse them, so when I'm done using it, I'll just cut off that end and then continue to use it for other Furbies. And by doing it this way, I'm not wasting glue sticks. Also make sure that when you're putting the hot glue stick onto the Furby's eye chip, that you don't accidentally hit the eyelashes with the hot glue in the process, because if that glue dries into the eyelashes, you may have a really hard time getting it off and you may end up screwing up the eyelashes or having to fully remove them. I also try to center the glue stick as best as I can on the eye, so that when it comes time to remove it, there's a pretty even force all the way around the eye chip. Once they're both dry, it's time to stick them into the freezer. I'm going to be leaving this Furby in there for about an hour and see if I can get those eye chips out. But if you have a Furby that's being particularly difficult, you may have to repeat the process and then leave it in for even longer. So here comes my least favorite part, and that is actually removing these eye chips. So now that this guy is nice and cold from coming out of the freezer, I'm going to put my finger underneath the eye. That way I kind of create some resistance on the white of the eye and then pull directly outwards. I've found that if you pull at an angle, it's usually just going to rip that glue right off of the eye chip, and then you're going to have to start all over again. Now, if you're like me and you don't have a lot of hand strength, sometimes they could be really difficult to remove. So like with this one, I had a harder time. And so sometimes you may just want to switch to the other hand, see if that'll work, and just keep pulling and working on it. And hopefully eventually you'll get it to pop out. The original eye chips on Furbies were put in there with some hot glue. And so some of the eye chips have more hot glue under there than others. And therefore some are a lot harder to remove. Alright, so finally I got both of those out of there, so you can see what it looks like without the eye chips. Looks kind of funny. And so one of the things I recommend doing next is to stick your eye chip in there and make sure it's going to fit properly before you put any glue down. So I'm just gonna stick it in there and make sure that it's going to fit and that I like the way it looks, because you may not like the way it looks and you may want to go with a different eye chip. So now that I've got one eye chip in, I can definitely tell that I do really love these eye chips, and so I'm definitely going to be gluing these ones in there. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do before I glue these down is finish painting my eyelashes and my eyelids. I'm also going to seal all the painted areas with polyurethane. To glue these new eye chips in their place, I'm going to be using my Podge. You can use any glue that you have readily available for this. Though these eye chips also said that they were 14 millimeters, they're a little bit looser than the other ones that I have, so I'm definitely going to want to glue these in. Now I'm just going to line these up properly and press them down in. Once I put them in and I've adjusted them the way that I want them, I'm just going to leave them to dry for about 10 minutes. Once the eye chips are secure, it's time to put the fur back on, and then we're all finished. And here we go! Now you can see what this Furby looks like once the eye chips are in and the fur is back on, and you can see kind of the mermaid theme I was going for. It's not completely finished yet. I still have some parts that I ordered that I'm waiting for to come in to add to it, but other than that, it's pretty much complete. So I hope this tutorial has helped you, and if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel Retro Furby.